This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar, and it is for the day of Tuesday, November 4th. And I'm recalling a year ago, on Monday, November 4th, it was the election day. It seems like so much has happened since then, but it was on this day. But last year was a Monday. And this PL-89 calendar was in effect then as well. We were in the same dispensation. And we are coming to a close of this dispensation, which means that we just finished a cycle that went from August/Av up until Cheshvan/November. And we just started Cheshvan/November. And it will go until, God willing, until Shvat/February. These are the fixed signs. And after that cycle, from Shvat/February, it will go to May/ER. And after that, the work here is done. And that's very exciting. And I'm looking forward to the next step. But until then, we still have 2 more cycles to go. Meaning this cycle and the next one. And then it's over. So, in this cycle, which we just started, on November 4th, it's the 4th day, because we started it. In this dispensation, we start all the fixed months over here. And in each dispensation, we start a different type of month over here. And 34 is the box number for November 4th, or when it was Cheshvan 4th, it was over here too. And the coordinate is D1. 34. As far as the lunar calendar, on which it is the 13th day of Cheshvan, or Mar Cheshvan, the box number is 30, because it's read from left to right, and it starts here, so there's 8 columns. When it hits 8, and then it goes here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 13th day is on box 30. And then, as I mentioned in the past, it is not only a Gregorian calendar and a Hebrew calendar, rather, it is a Julian calendar as well. And the Julian calendar was the calendar that pretty much the whole world used, because it was in the Roman Empire. From about 46, let's say, 46 before the Common Era. And it went up until 1582. And it's 13 days behind, so that those lost 11 days, because when it was implemented, they corrected a certain drift that was an error on the part of the Julian calendar with regard to springtime and Passover/Easter for them. And when it was put into effect, 11 days vanished from history, but they're not gone. They're still here. They're still here because this still holds the Julian calendar. So those 11 days are still part of what's being calculated all the time. And so not only do I apply the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, that's pretty much what it's meant for, but I apply the same formula of the Julian calendar to the Hebrew calendar. So that means when we get to the 14th, which is tomorrow, I'll count it as if a Julian/Hebrew date was 13 days ago. And then it starts again. It's going to start tomorrow again from 8 at the Julian Hebrew. But when we get to November 14th, it's going to reset and goes to Julian, the regular Julian, which is 13 days behind. For the next 100 years or so, it goes from like 1905 up until the year 2099, And after that, it loses more minutes to make it more, but I think it's more than enough time to see what this will do. And, I mean, you never know, but from here, that's the way it seems. But that's it. So basically, there's a few methods of calculating gematria with this. So you can either look at the box number alone, 34, 74, 114. Today is it can be read as 114. 11/4 can be read as 114. And that's interesting. November 4th, through the rule of 40, that's 114. 114 is 34. And today is 114, meaning 11/4. It's one nice finding. But another way of calculating is like 30. Here's the the Hebrew lunar. It's the 13th day of Cheshvan. And so another way of calculating is if you add them together, 34 and 30, which of course is 64. But what's 64? 64 is the numerical value of the word test. And on this day, Hebrew date and English was last night, I went through an ordeal, a great test. And that's very relevant to today. So the idea is to know more and more gematrias of every language, not just English, could be Portuguese, Spanish, French, Chinese, whatever. And the more gematrias you know of words, you'll be able to make a connection between something that happened that day and the calendar.